I say all that to say every time that I've come here recently, one of the conversations that we have, all of us together, is how much we love our country, and that really is the binding factor in us all being together and taking the time to be together to really just renew and remind everyone of what is at stake, but born out of love that we have this fight. And I want to thank you, Liz Cheney, for reminding us that regardless of party affiliation, is a factor that binds us all. And so I thank you for your support and your leadership and your courage.
That was the vice president praising Liz Cheney yesterday after the former Republican congresswoman delivered remarks and endorsed Harris at their rally in Wisconsin. Joining us now, MSNBC analyst and contributor to the conservative website The Bulwark, our friend Tim Miller. Tim previously served as communications director for Jeb Bush, as well as spokesman for the Republican National Committee. Tim, you could have made a lot of money about a year ago if you placed a bet on whether Dick Cheney's name would draw applause at a Democratic political rally. That happened yesterday. Talk to us about the importance of Liz Cheney's public support for Harris. She's out there. She's campaigning with her, setting up potentially a permission structure for other Republicans to cross the aisle and do the same.
Yeah, look, it was a powerful moment, Jonathan. I was watching it on my little laptop, getting kind of emotional. It wasn't just Dick Cheney got applause. Mike Pence got applause. And, you know, there are, I think, some snarky people out there, particularly on the left. It's like, oh, the Democrats are now all in with the neocons or whatever. And that's not what was happening in Wisconsin yesterday. It was Democrats who appreciate the country, as Kamala Harris said there, who have love of country, who were cheering for people that were willing to put country over their political ideals. It was not Democrats saying, no, we're on board with the Dick, Liz Cheney, and Mike Pence program on abortion and foreign policy. It was them saying, thank you, we appreciate you. We can also you know, put partisan differences aside for a little bit to welcome you into this process and hope that we can save the country together. And I think that's what yesterday was about. I think that the group that this is the most meaningful for is not swing voters in the traditional sense that they're like deciding between Trump and Harris. It is traditional Republicans who do not like Trump, who are not planning to vote for Trump, but who might not vote at all, who might write in a name at the top of the ballot. And I think having Liz Cheney there with Kamala Harris saying, you know, a write-in is not enough. This one time, it is worth it to actually proactively support the alternative candidate because the threat is so great. I think that is the important nudge that Liz Cheney is offering, and she's kind of alone in doing it. I mean, there are other less smaller name Republicans, but of the top name people, it's pretty striking that she's really the one out there doing it.
Yeah, we'll see if that changes the next month. Trump himself, by the way, also said the Democrats were trying to rally with the neocons. To your point. Speaking of Trump, he heads back to Butler County, Pennsylvania this weekend, and what is a much hyped rally. He's returned to the site, to the very site of that assassination attempt earlier this summer. I saw on X this morning Elon Musk says he'll be there too. What do you think that spectacle will be like?
Sounds like a circus if Elon's going to be there. But look, I mean, I think that Donald Trump obviously, you know, was boosted by this horrific event politically. And, you know, there's no room for this kind of violence. And I think that the one positive thing we've seen, maybe the only positive thing we've seen out of the Trump campaign over the last few months is I was kind of expecting a more, you know, there's the old waving of the bloody shirt image. Like I was expecting a little bit more of that, like a little bit more of ramping up the kind of retribution calls. We haven't seen that. I hope we do not see it at that rally in Butler. But there's no doubt it will be a spectacle.
Yeah, and Tim, certainly it's another base play. And in our last minute or so here, talk to us about that. There are those undecided, as you just mentioned. There aren't too many. This really feels like which candidate can get their base the most excited to vote, to get out there and do it. A month out, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I think the anti-Trump coalition is bigger than the pro-Trump coalition. We've seen it every time. It's a question of what to do in those states. I think that Kamala Harris has done a really good job of bringing a lot of core Democratic constituencies back on board, but she's not all the way there yet. And I think that she's got two things that she's got to do over the next month. One is for people who still need to kind of buy in to the fact that she's up for it, continue to make that sale, a proactive sale, but also what we saw yesterday with Liz Cheney, motivate people by reminding them how extreme Donald Trump is, what the threat is, what you talked about in the last segment with Michael Beschloss, and hopefully use that specter to kind of get that one last nudge to get some folks off the couch who are not fans of Donald Trump. And I think that's her big job over the next 30 days.
30 days to go. Contributor to the conservative website, The Bulwark, Tim Miller. Tim, thank you. Have a good weekend.